Persons of interest. This time round, we center on the Senator of Murang'a County, Irungu Kang'ata. Many thanks for your time. Let's continue with the discussion. Your role as Senator centers on oversight of public expenditure. Murang'a County has definitely been in the spotlight in terms of development agenda based on the agricultural center of that particular county. But on the flip side, a couple of cases are arising in terms of investigations into county funds. What do you make of this?
Yes, I think it's a positive thing on the part of the investigating agencies to check, to see whether any money has been lost by those who are leading the county, and ensure they recover all ill-gotten properties. Those properties should revert back to the people of Murang'a, because us and myself, we do not support corruption in Murang'a County.
Well, that's proper.
Yeah.
As Senator, playing your role of oversight in terms of public expenditure, let's talk about the milk processing plant. A lot has been said about it. Perhaps you might have a little bit of more information in terms of the symbiosis between the farmers and the price of the milk and all that in terms of marketing as well. How would you say it has benefited the people of Murang'a County?
Let me say that the idea to establish a milk processing plant was good, definitely. Reason being, Murang'a is a major milk producer.
True.
But how it is structured is something that the current leadership of Murang'a County need to disclose to Murang'a people. Its ownership and also its financial statements, the balance sheet. We need to know the equity position. We need to know the profit and loss statement, the income statement. So more disclosure needs to be done.
Have you lobbied for any disclosure?
Yes, I'm a member of Public Accounts Committee of the Senate.
Yes.
And we clashed with Mongo area the first time we appeared before the Senate on that specific issue. And we decided to conduct further probe on that matter. The county government of Murang'a was not cooperative in that investigation. And we called him again to do audit. Out of the 47 governors, only Murang'a County governor refused to come to be audited by Public Accounts Committee of the Senate. In fact, I think that was not a wise decision on the part of Governor of Murang'a. As a result of that refusal by Wairia, I suspect immediately thereafter, EACC decided to concentrate on matters Murang'a.
Okay.
And it's as a result of that, EACC went to court. It obtained orders against certain properties. So for me, there is progress towards recovering or investigating matters Murang'a.
Okay.
And we want to urge the investigating bodies to continue investigating any form of corruption in our county.
And to hasten the process as well.
Yes, to hasten the process.
What would you tell a farmer seated back at home watching this particular interview? We've seen a lot of input into the agricultural core of Murang'a County. One farmer, one cow. We also had of other issues as well. What would you tell the farmers back at home?
I will personally support Murang'a farmers. I will be in the forefront in pushing for the Coffee Bill 2021. I will ensure that it takes care of the common farmer in Murang'a County. The Tea Bill, which was passed by the Senate the other day,
it's not fully operational. Yes.
Yeah, it is not being operationalized yet. There are court orders freezing the operationalization of that law. I would urge the relevant government ministry to hasten the completion of those cases so that the farmers can reap benefits of that law. Murang'a County recently made an attempt to regulate and oppress avocado farmers, and they wanted to introduce levies. They wanted to start issuing expensive licenses to county avocado farmers. I opposed that measure, and we successfully stopped the implementation of that law, which would have been very negative. It would have made avocado farming in Murang'a to become very expensive. However, I still urge Murang'a County to establish a minimum guarantee scheme for coffee, for milk, for avocado, and also possibly coffee and tea. Because once they do that, and I know they have funds to do that, Murang'a farmers can easily increase their income by 200%. Remember, when I was the chief whip, I was able to push for an increment of more resources to the counties through what we call the large generation revenue sharing formula. Murang'a now will get an extra 2 billion. That 2 billion is enough for Murang'a County to establish a guaranteed minimum return for their key crops, so that we are able to push the agenda of the farmers going forward in our region.
That's proper. I'd like to hear your take on Shilingi kwa Shilingi investment scheme. What is your thought on it?
That scheme, again, it appears to have collapsed. We are not aware of its success. It's an opaque entity, and it's one of those issues I understand EACC is pursuing. And now that they got some orders against key officials of that government, definitely they will also pursue that matter to its logical conclusion.
That's proper. Oversight aside, what is your take on the Building Bridges initiative? Now that it is rolling out in various counties, we've seen some counties pass it, others, one of them has rejected it so far. What do you make of the road to constitutional reforms?
The content of the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 has merits and demerits. On the merit side, I'm happy with the proposal to introduce World Development Fund. And remember, that was my thought. I processed a bill. It passed in the Senate. When it went to the National Assembly, it died. So maybe this is a positive element which can push forward that agenda. But on the negative side, I am not happy with the proposal to increase the size of Parliament. I believe in a lean Parliament, an enlarged Parliament will be a burden on the taxpayer. So as to the process, I would propose that we have a more consultative, collaborative process, as opposed to we versus them, a contentious process. Remember, any change to the Constitution will affect all citizens of this republic.
True.
Yeah, and therefore it would have made sense if we could have gone into election as one unified team.
Now, let me just use the words, the train has already left the station, and the people of Murang'a might look to you for perhaps direction into which way to tackle this particular BBI report, even as we push for civic education on the ground. What would you say your stand is on the BBI right now, if you were to either say yes or no? I know you're pushing for a consultative forum, but what stand would you take, bearing in mind the merits and the demerits?
The people of Murang'a are very bright. They are very well educated. I strongly believe they will have a chance to read for themselves and to make a wise decision. Yeah.
And your personal decision?
It is secret. We shall be voting secretly.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have no doubt that the people of Murang'a are wise. They will look at the document and they will make an informed decision. Yeah,
you've been on record mentioning perhaps the ground might be hostile in terms of reception to the BBI. For the proponents, what advice would you give them, especially when approaching the bright people of Murang'a County?
I advise them, number one, to involve elected leaders more. Number two, I advise that they don't weaponize BBI for politics. They should involve all leaders, whether Moses Kuria or Gonjiri. whether Kanini Kega or Regadi. So every leader in our region needs to be involved in that process.
Despite the divergent views?
Yeah, exactly. We should not push BBI as a factional agenda. Thirdly, economics of our region needs to be addressed. Our people are suffering. We have a lot of families that are unable to take their children to school. Our healthcare system has collapsed. Our coffee sector is collapsed. Our crops are not giving us our rightful dues. So our incomes have plummeted. So we need to do major interventions so that we rescue our region from the problems that we are having currently.
Okay. The economic agenda of Mount Kenya region is definitely a key talking point, not just in BBI, but also rolling out into the 2022 general election. A lot of impetus has been put on Central Kenya, others saying it's the biggest gainer of the BBI and all that. But in terms of the economic agenda and the alignment going forward with the election coming forth, what impetus would you actually focus on, or would you give advice that leaders should focus on?
Definitely, number one is creating a conducive environment for businesses to thrive. We have a huge segment of our people who are into business, but businesses these days are over-regulated. Like now, this establishment of mine, I need almost like 10 licenses every year to operate. For instance, I need to go to NEMA,
Yes.
I need to go to public health, I need to obtain single business permit from the county, I need also to, I don't know.
So it might be a burden for the common
it's a burden
Mwananchi,
for
yes.
the common Mwananchi. So maybe governments needs to amalgamate all those licenses. We have one-stop shop. And of course that requires a policy statement from the government. It needs a ministerial direction as a policy, which then can be crystallized into a legislative intervention. Secondly, we need to change our fiscal policies so that we increase the money supply in the country. And therefore, if we increase the money supply in the country, the net effect will be to have interest rates go down. Yeah, currently, the interest rates are about 13 to 14% per annum, meaning very few businesses can go to banks and obtain loans. And partly the reason of that is that our money market is highly regulated. If you come with money into Kenyan economy, you'll be required to show the source. If you want to transfer money, you'll be told, bring this document. So it's a highly regulated money market. So we reduce those regulations so that we increase bank deposits. Once we increase bank deposits, then interest rates will go down, and that money will be given out as loans to businesses. Also, agriculture. Agriculture remains a major contributor to this country's GDP and our region's GDP. Yes, I've seen positive moves towards addressing agricultural problems, but they remain outstanding. So therefore, I need to see a situation where coffee farmers, tea farmers, avocado farmers, milk farmers have money in their pockets. The inputs in agriculture, they are very expensive. The fertilizers, they are very expensive.
Correct.
So we want government to intervene and ensure we have cheap fertilizers.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's look forward. Now that you have been de-whipped, you're definitely focused on serving the people of Murang'a, I'd assume, but your political stance might also raise questions. Where do you stand in terms of affiliation? Yes, you've mentioned you're in support of Yake Tano, Yangu Tano. What is your stand right now?
I'm a great supporter of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
Uhuru Kenyatta told us, Yangu Kumi, Yaruto Kumi.
So I'm just doing, actually, yes.
So I'm just doing exactly what President Uhuru Kenyatta told us. Yangu Kumi, Yaruto Kumi.
Are you critical of the fact that the campaign has started rather early?
No, also we believe in freedom of expressing ourselves.
Yes.
So surely you can't curtail anyone's right to talk to his people.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your future, or perhaps what are you hearing from the people of Murang'a? Because I assume since they led you to the councillor's position, also led you to the MP's position, what direction are they pointing at right now?
Let me wait. I will have a discussion with the people of Murang'a.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
still haven't heard?
No, I'm here to go and make a consultative meeting.
Yes.
They'll give me a good political direction.
And you will tackle it as it comes?
Yeah, yes.
Well, many thanks, Senator Irungu Kang'ata, for your time right here. We definitely appreciate your input on the show.
Thank you.
All right. Let's take a short break right now on Morning Express. We'll be back with much, much more. Stay with us.